Breaking news for you. Welcome to my views and news. Somalia today denied entry to an Ethiopian plane. What happened? Who was on board? Yesterday, I broke the news about likely high level visits of Ethiopian officials to Somaliland, which plane was not allowed to enter Somali airspace. Today, Somali Civil Aviation Authority has confirmed through a statement of what happened. Secondly, a new Fano brigade has been established in the Amhara region. This brigade will operate in a zone which is not known for having Fano fighters presence. Fano fighters had no brigade, no group operating in this zone, and there is a major Ethiopian military base too in this zone. First of all, Somalia, Ethiopia, tensions are rising, no signs of de escalation. This conflict erupted around 2 weeks ago when Ethiopia signed an MOU with Somaliland, which would grant access to Ethiopia to the sea through Somaliland. And in return, Ethiopia might recognize Somaliland as a country, and Somaliland will have shares in Ethiopian Airlines to Somalia. Rejected and condemned this MOU, calling it a violation of Somalia's sovereignty, territorial integrity. Since then, Somalia has been threatening that if MOU is implemented, it will wage a war. It wants to stop Ethiopia from implementing the MOU. I reported yesterday that top Ethiopian government officials, including the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, were planning to visit Somaliland. And today, a retaliatory action from Somalia that it denied access to an Ethiopian airline plane. Somalia Civil Aviation Authority has issued a statement just a few minutes ago. The statement was made public. The Civil Aviation Authority of Somalia says that today, Somalia Civil Aviation Authority denied access to an Ethiopian Airlines plane ET8372. DASHQ 400, I think, is the model of this plane. ET8372 is flight number. It was an Ethiopian Airlines flight. It was not allowed to enter Somalia's airspace. The Somali Civil Aviation Authority says that the flight was unauthorized, means that it did not seek clearance from Somalia's Civil Aviation Authority, which is generally the routine that whenever a plane enters another country's airspace, obviously it has to contact other countries' aviation authorities, and if permission is granted, then the plane enters other countries' airspace. So Somalia's position is that this flight from Ethiopia of Ethiopian Airlines did not seek clearance and permission from Somalia's Civil Aviation Authority. But according to some Ethiopian government officials, which who we got in touch with, this flight did seek it sought clearance. It reportedly aired a request for clearance, but clearance was not granted to the plane, and the plane turned back. Ethiopian Airlines operates in Somalia, flights to and from Somalia to Ethiopia, to the parts of Africa, obviously using Somalia's airspace. And can we say that Somalia has completely closed its airspace to Ethiopian planes? No. I think only one plane was denied entry, and airspace is open. It's not that all Ethiopian Airlines flights have been suspended, flights to Somalia, though still we're waiting for more information. What I've been able to confirm is that so far only one plane was denied entry. What was this plane carrying? Who was on board? Was it a commercial flight or some VIPs were on board? And was this flight trying to enter Somalia's airspace or Somaliland's airspace? By the way, Somaliland has a separate civil aviation authority which monitors, which protects its airspace. And earlier today, arrival of an Ethiopian military plane in Hargeisa was confirmed by some sources. I think Hargeisa airport authorities also confirmed the arrival of an Ethiopian plane at Hargeisa airport. ETH 372 is the number of the flight of Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 737 plane which landed at Hargeisa airport earlier today. After that, Somalia, in retaliation, closed its airspace, and another plane, ET 8372, was denied access into Somalia's airspace. So Somalia obviously is showing its intent that no matter what happens, no matter what the cost is, it won't allow Ethiopia to cement the MOU signed with Somaliland. What will Ethiopia do? Obviously, Ethiopia will retaliate. What will Ethiopia do in retaliation? That remains to be seen. And will the ban remain imposed, or other Ethiopian Airlines flights will be allowed to use Somalia's airspace? That remains to be seen. Both countries have taken different positions about this incident. As I said earlier, Ethiopian authorities say they sought clearance. They were not granted clearance, but Somalia says the plane was unauthorized. So it's another increase in the level of tensions between Ethiopia and Somalia. A lot is going to happen, it seems, in coming days if the MOU between Ethiopia and Somaliland is implemented. Somalia has issued a formal statement. We are waiting for formal official statement from Ethiopia. Will Ethiopia issue a formal statement? I think Somalia not happy with the visits of top Ethiopian government officials. I think Jula and some others are visiting Somaliland. Somalia not happy. Yesterday we heard that Ethiopian Premier Abiy was considering a visit to Somaliland too. That is why Somalia not happy, because obviously these visits are about the implementation of MOU. That is why Somalia temporarily closed its airspace to one Ethiopian airline flight. Secondly, was Amhara region of Ethiopia, where Fano fighters are operating across the Amhara region. They have their groups, brigades operating separately, independently, in different zones in Gujum, Gondar, Shoa, Wollo, North Wollo, South Wollo. They have their presence, but they did not have their presence in one zone of the Amhara region, and that is a Vog Hemra zone. They do have their presence in North Wollo, in border areas, Wollo to Vog Hemra border areas, but they did not have immense penetration into Vog Hemra from Wollo. And they have been trying to expand their territories where they are operating. That is why they have established a new Fano brigade. This new Fano brigade will operate near Sikota. Sikota is the main city in Waghemra zone of the Amhara region. And I think in Sikota, there is an Ethiopian military base too. It's center of one command of Ethiopian National Defense Force. And in Sikota, obviously, Agos live in large number. Around Sikota, Waghemra zone is the zone where Agos live in large number, Amharas as well. And an Ago armed movement signed a peace deal with Ethiopian government, Amhara regional government, a few days ago. Military mediated the deal. This armed group has presence in Waghemra zone, in other parts of Amhara as well. Due to the majority of people being Agos, Fano could not get public support in Waghemra zone, but now it seems Fano has decided to make a move into those territories too, where Agos live in large number. That is why we're seeing attacks in Ago Avi zone too. I think there was fighting in Javi yesterday and today as well. Javi, I think, is the main uh, city in Ago Avi zone. And now in Sikota too, near Sikota, a new Fano brigade has been established. We have been hearing talk of a possible reconciliation or alliance between Agos and Fano fighters against Ethiopian military, Ethiopian government, but no progress has been made. Diaspora of both sides have been recommending that Ago fighters, Ago militia members, and Fano fighters should form an alliance against the government, but no alliance, and Fano fighters are now trying to go deep into Ago majority areas. Let's see, can this Sikota Fano brigade establish itself in Waghemra zone? That we'll see in coming days. Thanks for watching.